This streamer exposed the truth about black people. We're talking about Joe Bart.
So there is a huge content creator by the name of Joe Bartolozzi. Millions on TikTok, millions on Twitch, millions on YouTube. This is a huge guy. Recently on Twitter though, a clip of him has went viral expressing his feelings about black people. So the post has over 10 million views. It's sitting at 100,000 likes. And his caption, Joe Bartolozzi goes off on people who say black people are more likely to commit crimes than white people. Just off that caption alone, you are white.
Hey.
But nah, for real though, it's refreshing to see a straight white American male in 2026 that isn't a bigot. I gotta show respect to Joe for that. He has a huge platform and he could easily grift and be racist and the edgy white teens will eat it up. But no, he got morals. But let's watch the video.
Do not commit more crimes than white people on a personality basis. If you're going to say statistically they do, that is only because of impoverished areas in the lives that they've been given because of the implications that have been put on them.
Yo, shout out to Joe Bart, man. I know a lot of us already know this, but he's one of the best out. Like, I ain't gonna lie, when I'm by myself, not, watching putting content to the side for me to react to and do my job as a reaction channel and streamer, I'm watching a lot of Joe Bart, man, because he's pretty damn base. I think the one thing that I don't necessarily agree with him with is I'm pretty sure he's an atheist, or maybe he's not an atheist. I just don't think he believes in God. But neither here or there, man. We got to get to a place where we just got to stop spreading hate in the world. People are hating on me. Like, I'm somebody that can appreciate someone even if I don't agree with them in every single category. And Joe is somebody that I think does that. He spreads, just common sense. It's not even about fucking, being right and wrong. It's just being like, not being a moron or an idiot. Just using your brain, using your logic. And, that's one thing that I think is just lost in today's age. Nobody has nuance anymore. Nobody has the ability to sit, understand, and be like, maybe I don't agree with what he said there, but I agree with what they said there. And we can agree to disagree and we can all hold hands and still fucking sing Kumbaya. It's like, it's so crazy to me. So for Joe to literally be one of the biggest content creators out there, white, and kind of have the ability to fit into the stereotype to essentially do whatever the fuck you want on these platforms. But let's call a spade, right? These social media platforms are shown time and time again. If you fit their skin color routine, and you know what I'm saying, there's certain check marks, you pretty much can get on the internet and say whatever the fuck you want and have no repercussions for it. I mean, bro, we've seen it time and time again. Corey Kenshin, one of the biggest black creators, came out, expressing his gripes and frustrations with what seems to be favoritism on YouTube. So again, for somebody this size and this have this much influence to come out and say something like this, especially, in defense of the black community. But it's so refreshing. But I even have to almost backtrack a little bit because he's coming it's from such a nuanced place. I don't even think he's doing it to defend black people. It's just like anyone who thinks like this is an actual idiot. You think black people are more likely to commit crimes just because they're black? Like, you are actually dumb. You literally, to say something like that is just like, it's almost, it's so degenerate. Like, I don't even have the words. It's so degenerate to even think like that. Oh, because the color of your skin, not because of what you've been through, not because of your past, not because of, your traumas or whatever the fuck. No, because of the color of your skin, you are more likely to commit a crime. Shut up. Anyone who thinks like that, I can't even hold a conversation with you.
And through, what is it called? Systemic racism. They've been given a shit hand and therefore live in that shit hand and are more likely to commit crimes if they're impoverished, living in areas where they have to survive.
It's that simple. It's literally that simple. I explain it all the time. Y'all know I tell y'all to always go back if you want the answer to things. Cause and effect. Trickle-down economics. Although black America isn't as bad as they really like to portray it, it's really just the internet and the cherry picking that make it look worse than what it is. But we do have our problems, and those problems exist because of what black Americans have went through. I'm going to do a short synopsis. A lot of people say I say the same things over and over in my videos. Well, I get a lot of new viewers in my videos, so I tend to repeat things. So Yeah, but anyway, the reason Black America has the dysfunction that it has, let's go back to slavery. And in fact, it only ended, 200 something years ago? But anyway, slavery, that was 400 years of brutal, nonstop work. And in my opinion, it was an attempted genocide. And a lot of people love to downplay chattel slavery. No, this was something, man, what? But just the things we went through during slavery, the psychological problems, those things still can transfer over in 2026. It's called epigenetics. So we went through that. Then we were released in 1865. We were considered free, but not really free. We dealt with Jim Crow, segregation, the KKK, all types of unfair treatment. Then we could talk about things such as...
And you know, the crazy thing is, bro, like you have to keep in perspective, bro. This shit was not going on that long ago. I know, you know, it's so easy to kind of just get caught up in where we're at now. But bro, let's just keep it basic on. We don't even got to go deep into shit that not everyone understands. Martin Luther King was assassinated not that long ago. Look at this, y'all. He died in 1968. 1968, chat. Martin Luther King was assassinated in April 4th, 1968. If you really put in perspective, like, that was not that long ago. That was all within the last 100 years. Not even 100 years. You know what I'm saying? If my math serves me correctly. I'm not a fucking mathematician here. But this is not like, you know, sometimes when we think about slavery and just black people being treated less than in general, we know it feels like an ancient relic. Like, oh, that was like back when the dinosaurs are alive. Like, no, bro. This is still going on within our DNA. It's like, it's not even a whole new 100 years has passed. You know, we're not in a new era where cars are flying. Like, no, bro, this is all just happened not too long ago. So is it that crazy to think that people are still racist today? Is it that crazy to think that the side effects of all the trauma that we've gone through are still lingering today? It's really not that crazy of a concept, but people like to grift and pretend like, oh, that was eons ago. You know, just get over it. Just get over it. I mean, it might be a little bit. We might have more to say if we're talking about the goddamn Boston Tea Party and shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? But even that, it's all relative. It's all relative.
Redlining, right? Where they literally mapped us off in certain areas so we couldn't have access to the better jobs, the better resources. They would run highways over certain areas. Then we could talk about the 1950s, the 1960s, when a lot of black leaders started to realize, like, man, we got to do something about the problems we're dealing with. I highly recommend everybody read the autobiography of Malcolm X. And the things that this brother is talking about, he's dealing with in the 1960s, y'all, it's literally something that I see in 2026, right? I know I'm kind of going off topic. I love to rant, but in this book, it was a certain section he was talking about. And what happened was some black people did something dumb where a white woman was killed. And they immediately tried to just, put all the blame onto black people. But Malcolm X was like, well, y'all can't just point the finger, because the reason that they were even messed up in the first place is because of the conditions that you guys placed them under, right? And I look at that the same way in 2026. They love talking about YN culture, this and that. I don't approve any of this. But also, these are the conditions that you guys harbor. You guys put the drugs in the neighborhood. You guys put the weapons in the neighborhood. You did all of these things. So now in 2026, you're still getting the byproducts and want to just put all the blame on us. No, y'all got to take some blame too. But anyway, back in the 1960s, we had black power movements.
It's not like a switch that can just be turned off and on. But give black people the same luxury and conditions that, that white people have had over the past 50 plus years. I mean, shit, forever. I'm saying 50 plus years. But let us get those same luxuries over the course of the next 50 to 100 years and see how much black people thrive. I mean, even now, it's not like where it could actually be, but we're starting to see more and more black people become more successful. We're seeing more and more black people thrive, and not just the sport areas. We're seeing more and more black doctors, more and more black lawyers, more and more successful black people, in areas that's not just sports, thriving and shining. And it's because we are slowly but surely starting to get more and more resources and coming from better communities and having better opportunities from day one. So fast forward another, 100, 200 years from now, it will get to a point where it's like, okay, we're going to start weeding out all the bullshit because we're finally able to benefit from the fruits of our labor. We're finally able to benefit from having the same opportunities that other people have. And, that's a beautiful thing. And only time will tell to see how we continue to flourish and benefit from that. But it's really not that hard of a concept to follow, bro. Even, again, bro, you guys know me, man. I'm not going to sit on here and talk to y'all like I'm somebody that I'm not. I am not Mr. Historical person that can just pick off random historical facts off my brain. Like, I'd like to think of myself as a pretty intellectual person, but I'm not Mr. History Book and I know everything. But it's like, to not understand these things, again, you just are dumb. It's not even, you don't have to be an expert or be super interested or have to be a fucking black power, black person activist, white activist. Like, you don't got to be an activist for anything to just understand basic, like, oh, like, this is what makes sense. And that's what I think so much people just don't have common sense nowadays.
Okay, Black Panthers, Malcolm X, MLK, Fred Hampton, all of these type of groups and leaders tried to come up and basically guide the black community. Anytime we tried to organize and they saw something, they knocked them off. In fact, there is a whole program put in place just to disassemble black power movements. It's called COINTELPRO. After this, we had the chemical warfare. Okay, that's heroin, that's crack cocaine. In fact, most of the parents of the YNs today are damn near crack babies. Think about it, the parents that were born in the late 1980s, a lot of them are crack babies. So maybe they didn't know how to raise their children right. Not making excuses, but hey, man, we gotta look back. And I bring these things up because it's like, y'all want to understand why black America is the way it is or why black people are the way they are in America. Well, I'm trying to tell you, but if I bring these things up, y'all, they'll say I'm being a victim or I'm making excuses when I'm...
Again, bro, it's just two separate conversations. When you're talking about if a black person commits a crime, then that black person should be held accountable for that crime. There's no, just the same way if anybody commits a crime or does something disgusting or heinous, they should be held accountable. We don't look at that person and say, oh, they should be set free because they went through X, Y, and Z. But then when y'all want to get specific and start saying like, oh, there's like, how do we stop these type of things from happening? Don't you all want to live in a world where there's less crime, less, just less bullshit going on? And we start talking about in the prevention. It's not because we're just black. You know what I mean? It's not because we're black that we're just committing crimes. No, that's not how that works. You have to start diving deeper. It's like, why? What was the reason that this was even the potential thought process? What was the conditions this person was brought up in? What was the resources that they had available when they were struggling? Was there equal opportunity? You got to start asking those questions because that's where we can kind of start to be like, okay, well, if we change that and we, if everybody's fed equally, if everybody's eating the same food, if everybody's rising up with the same opportunities, then maybe they wouldn't have done X, Y, and Z. There's always going to be unicorns. There's always going to be people that are just born to be evil, and they'll be dealt with. But it's kind of like that the evil is not lying within the skin color. If you put a white baby and a black baby together, they're just going to start playing and laughing with each other. Or it's just sitting there crying with each other. The point is, the racism and doing stupid shit, these are all things that can be brainwashed and taught, as time goes on, can be influenced by what's going on around you. You know what I'm saying? You put a black baby in the best conditions with the best parents and the best resources, they have a better chance to do amazing, great things. The same way if you were to put a white baby in a terrible scenario, in a terrible community filled with guns and drugs and a whole bunch of bullshit, that white baby is more likely, it doesn't mean it's 100%, but the same for us, they are more likely to grow up and do fucking stupid shit. It's holy shit. Berto for president, man. Fuck it. I'm getting into politics.
Where you at, Berto?
Not doing any of that. I tell y'all all the time, but I lead by example. I am a young black man. I'm 24, no criminal record, graduated from high school with a 4-point-something GPA, got a full ride to college. I'm married, have 3 children, an active father. My kids upstairs sleep right now, and I consider myself to be a positive role model. Like, I live by a moral code and I promote that.
If you were to take a group of people and put them in an impoverished area, they're likely to commit more crimes because they have not been helped in the way that they need to be. But if you meet a black guy on the street and you say to his face, he's more likely to commit a crime than you're fucking racist. Yes.
Literally, y'all. Sorry to pause again already, Joe, but this is correct. Poverty has always had a correlation to crime. Always. You can go in any area of the world and you will see a link between poverty and high crime rate. Just go to some of these poor white areas in America. I mean, you see some of the same, it's mirror image. And let's just go off statistics. Based off the 2019 FBI data stats, the one they love to use for 1350, do y'all know that 69% of the crimes are done by white people? You know what I'm saying? So why is that not talked about?
Statistical fact you're going to throw is clouded by the idiocy of yourself to not recognize why that fact is in existence. Not because black people are genetically more likely to commit a crime. That's stupid.
So this is the most liked comment under this thread. It's by Asmon Gold. 40,000 likes. It's true that blacks experience systematic racism.
Oh my God, Asmon.
They benefit from it. Blacks and other minority groups enjoy preferential treatment through DEI and affirmative action at the expense of white and Asian Americans.
Yo, this nigga Asmon Gold's racist. I don't really watch his content like that. You know, I've just seen it in passing.
Socioeconomic conditions is a cope and everyone knows it. First off, DEI was started because black people weren't given the equal opportunities, right? So let me explain it to you. Say, for instance, a black person is a candidate for a job. It's 5 or 6 individuals. It's 1 black dude, 4 white people, and an Asian. All of these individuals pretty much have the same credentials. They got a college degree, same work experience, around the same age. But the hiree is a white person. Even though the credentials are all the same, he's going to pick a fellow white man. So DEI came around and was like, okay, let's make things a little more fair. That is all DEI is. DEI doesn't mean that you're less qualified and you get the job. It means that you're just given a better opportunity. But so many of these people, they're so stupid and they can't, you know, I don't know what's wrong with them. And the fact that Asmon Gold said that socioeconomic conditions are a cope, this is the same guy that said this.
And this might be a controversial opinion. People might not like this opinion, but I do think that black people now are still experiencing ripple effects of Jim Crow, slavery, pre-civil rights era.
So Asmon Gold, not only is he a racist, but he's just literally a grifter. Like he's one of them ones that, because he knows big words and can pull some historical facts off the top of his brain, he's just gonna say and do whatever sounds right at the moment, but he doesn't actually have any personal morals. I mean, bro, I'm pretty sure he lives in a trash can, doesn't he not? He like swims with roaches and shit. Yeah, bro. Again, these are your goats. Some of these guys, it's like, come on, man. Joe Bart, W. Asmon Gold, he's living with roaches, bro. And that's who you're getting your political advice from? Okay.
And also other forms of segregation and discrimination. I think that there are ripple effects of that now. Let me give you one example. And if you agree with this, that's fine. If you don't agree with this, that's fine. There are almost no black people in America that have had more than 2 or 3 generations of people that were properly educated because of segregation.
And that's facts, but he still had the nerve to say whatever the fuck he just said on Twitter. Crazy.
I think that growing up in a family that speaks proper English, that understands the English language, gives you a tremendous insurmountable advantage over people who don't. So that's one example.
So that was a couple of months ago, and maybe his audience didn't like that take, so he had to get back to grifting and just being racist and not having nuance. Because what he said is right. Jim Crow, slavery, all this stuff have ripple effects. So man, he just pretty much exposed his whole theory right there. But if you guys want to see a full video debunking that whole thread that Asmon Gold said, go check out Birdman video. It's right here, man. He did a great job at dismantling a lot of this bullshit. Now this right here is the second highest like comment. It's made by a Korean. I tell you, a lot of these Eastern Asians, they see themselves as white too, and they reap the benefits of white supremacy. He says wealthy blacks commit more crimes than poor whites. It has over 19,000 likes, and its evidence for this is a chart from 2010. Like, they can't even find something new. The sons of black families from the top 1% had the same chance of being incarcerated on a given
2010, bro. We're in 2026. pulling this chart up is just straight, like, it's almost like spitting in your face. Like, yeah, there's got to be a more recent statistic than this. 2010, we didn't even have iPhones, did we? Like, come on, bro.
As the sons of white families earning $36,000. Him showing this chart is not the gotcha moment that he thinks, because it actually proves that rich nigga, poor nigga, dark nigga, light nigga, fat nigga, skinny nigga, you still a nigga to these police and these white supremacist organizations. If y'all didn't know, man, black people are profiled at the highest rates of any group of people. Yes, and let me give you some evidence to support this. Black people make up 54% of all exonerations, despite only being 13% of the population. And this is the third comment. Finally, we got some sensible things. Let me fix this. Poor people are more likely to commit crimes. Middle class people are less likely to commit crimes. Rich people are more likely to get away with committing crime. Like it or not, this is common within every nation. It's also an education issue. The system was created to make sure that the lowest class aren't able to escape this reality. That brother is cooking. Even to add on to this, capitalism. Capitalism needs a low class of people to function right. So it's like, bro, I can break it down. You know what I'm saying? I'm dismantling all this shit. People gonna look at this video, the racist people, and still be like, oh, you're a victim, you're this and that, man. It's a lose-lose situation. But I explain these things to all of my viewers that want to know, so that when you run into these type of people, you know how to hold your ground and fight back against the bullshit narrative that they try to put out there. Now, this thread is just full of racism. Pretty much everybody in the comment is just being like, oh, this dude's an idiot. Black people are this and that. But what you gotta understand is that, man, most of these white people in this thread have never had any interaction with black people. Their whole ideology is off of false stats and cherry pick videos that they keep engaging with. The way social media works is, if you see a black fatigue video, you're going to keep getting fed that. That is why they do so good on YouTube. It's like, man, none of these people can ever tell you a firsthand experience that they have with black people, but they have black fatigue. They're going to be like, oh, I saw this video. Oh, I saw that video. Oh, I did this. And it's like, bro, and just to even dismantle the theory that black people are inherently more violent, or they're inherently this or inherently that. No, black people are just a product of their environment. This is the same reason why we see whitewashed black kids. For example, right, this is a video of a woman saying, asking my suburban kid to square up.
Yes?
Square up. Square up.
Square up?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
That's so cute, man. What the hell? Hey.
What you think it means, square up? Okay, well.
Hey, man, you know, this is cute, bro. And at the end of the day, like, I'll guarantee you, my young lad, whenever that time comes, will know what squared up means. But the goal, bro, is so that we can raise our kids like this, far away from any trauma, far away from having to even think about, you know, having to square up. Like, isn't this what we want for all of our children? Again, in the sense of making sure that they're safe, protected, and have all the best opportunities in the world, so they can grow up and thrive and strive without having to think about trauma and racism and all this hate that's in the world. Again, I think awareness and, you know, having the ability to know what's going on is important. So a little underperforming in that category, but you know, I gotta love this, man. I can't cap.
Do what you think square up means. Like, get up and do what you think it means. If I tell you square up, what you think you're supposed to do?
Well, let's square. Then you better go up.
Oh, yeah, man. I ain't gonna lie, mom's doing him dirt though. This is the digital footprint of doom. Yeah, they're definitely gonna make fun of him at school for this.
Man, I can find countless videos like that of suburban kids. Hell, I could go outside right now in my neighborhood, in the suburbs, majority black, by the way. But like I keep stating, these people don't have interactions with black people. They see black fatigue videos online all day, and this molds their perception of us. That's it for this video, though. I hope.
W video by that boy Antonio Speaks, and W Joe Bart, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section about this situation. I gave y'all my thoughts. My name is Berto. Where you at, Berto? Join the Where You At family so you never miss a live stream reaction live on Twitch. The link to that is in the description, and I want to see you there in the next one.
Where you at, Berto?
I made this shit look too easy.